Welcome to our Forever Holiday. I'm Lisa and this is Mike, and today's video is about preparation to travel.
Now that we've been full-time RVing for 14 months, through 73 takedowns and setups, we've developed a checklist. And the following is us going through that checklist, starting with the day prior to travel. Let's get into it. We try to fuel the truck on the day before travel because it's a lot easier to do that without the RV attached. Also, I check the oil, check the tires, and just a general visual inspection to make sure everything is okie dokie. We use a Garmin RV890 to plan our routes.
Please drive to highlighted route.
Once I have a GPS route defined, then I go to Google Earth and look for any potential turns or other problem spots along the way. We have the Nautilus water system on our Grand Design RV, and we flush and drain the tanks on the night before travel so we don't have to do that the next morning.
I'm demonstrating the Geo method that we use to clean our toilet after it's been dumped. So these two products, this is Great Value Ultra Dish Liquid and Calgon Water Softener that we purchased from Walmart. And I put a cap of this Calgon into the toilet. I just fill it to the top like this. And I dump this into the toilet. I open the valve of the toilet. And I just let it run for a minute and dump all of the contents in the cup out. And then I do the same thing again with the dish soap. This is a replacement for Dawn dish soap. I fill the cup up. It doesn't have to be exact. It's just get it pretty close. Here we go. I'm pouring this in now. Open it and dump it all the way down. I fill up this jug. This is just a pitcher. I fill it up twice and I pour it in the toilet. And it's as simple as that. We don't have any bad odors. We don't have any bad smells. Everything. We've been doing this for 1 year and it's worked great. We haven't had any problems. And the toilet paper that we use is just toilet paper that's good for septic systems. Any toilet paper that's good for septic systems is what we use. Nothing special, nothing fancy. We don't go through any exorbitant expense. And now this is a full pitcher. And I just open the flapper and pour it in. And I do 2 like that, and that's it. On moving day, one of the things that we do consistently is to lift up the slide flap, and we vacuum underneath there to keep from rocks, debris, or particles from scratching the floor or getting caught in the slides and creating a problem for the slide mechanism. So we're going to just demonstrate it right now. So this is what we do in order to prevent problems, and we do it on both sides. We're just demonstrating one side right now.
We have discovered that occasionally when we hit a big bad bump or a rough road, such as I-70 going into Denver, that these rear cabinet doors could come open and stuff can come out, and it kind of makes a mess of things. So we've discovered also a way to prevent that from happening. So we have these 2 boards. It's actually just a 2 foot by 4 foot hardboard cut in half that I put in the cabinets to make sure nothing comes out of them. So here's the process for putting them in there. So I start in the middle. It's easier to do it that way. And because of the way the doors face, I do go to the right first. And sometimes we have to align things a little bit. And that's one. And we'll do the other one in the same manner, but we'll push it out to the left once we get it in. And now that all the cabinets have a board in front of them, so nothing can come out. We never put anything very heavy here because the cabinets aren't really designed to support a lot of weight, but this works very well. We haven't had any issues. Of course, we haven't been on I-70 since, but anyway, that's the story.
During our travels, we have noticed that food shifts in the refrigerator. And so to avoid that, we put tension rods in. And we just bought cheap tension rods from Walmart. And on the bottom shelf here, where it's the heaviest, I usually put 2. And I just twist them tight and put them in place so that they hold this very well in place. And then I put 1 on each of the other shelves and push it back and make sure it's tight. And it does a really good job of holding everything in place. The next thing we do, of course, is lock the refrigerator. Everybody has a different setup, but this is what we do for ours in order to keep things from opening, because in the past this has pulled open just a little bit and we didn't have the bars in place, and so the food actually fell out onto the floor. Next, we have some dents in our refrigerator, as you can see here where my finger is. And that was because the refrigerator must have slightly moved when the slides were in. So now what we do is we went to like Hobby Lobby or Walmart and bought this square pad, 2 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches, and wrap a bungee cord around here just to give a little extra protection on this corner from gouging up the refrigerator.
One thing we always do before we travel is shut off the propane gas so that we don't have a leak or something like that and cause a fire. So the process is pretty simple. You just close off the tank here. And I want to draw your attention to the fact we have the gas stop unit attached here. We have one of them on either of our tanks, and that's a little bit added security just in case a leak develops while the gas is actually on. After turning the gas off, just as an example how much gas is in the lines, we drain the lines by running the burner, and you see it's burning now, and it will burn for a few moments before it burns off all the gas in the lines. This is another safety feature to make sure that we don't have any incidents while we're traveling. You notice it's still burning, and now it's finally going out.
On travel days, we always lift up all of our blinds in order to prevent the blinds from banging up against the window while we're moving down the highway. So we just open them all up. So another thing we do is we also check all of the windows to make sure that they're tight so they don't open up during travel. So we just check the handles on them and lock them. We take precautions when we travel, and one of the things we do is take out the microwave glass tray and I just wrap it up with 2 dish towels, pretty simply. And we have a drawer here, so I'll put it in the drawer to keep it from rolling around and bumping into the door and everything else. We just don't want it broken. And then I run this bungee cord through the handle and I put it back behind it. There's a little opening back here. And there's another opening over here further. And just turn this sideways and pretty much click it in. And that's it. And that keeps the door tight. You can't get it open. Before traveling, you want to make sure that all of the loose items in your RV are stowed, because RVs tend to be a rolling earthquake going down the highway. Close your ceiling vents from your fans. Turn your lights off. Turn your air conditionings off. And secure your kitchen table chairs so they don't bounce around during travel.
We have the Grand Design control panel here just inside the entry door. And a couple of things we make sure of here before we travel is we turn off the water heater and we make sure the water pump is off. The water pump might be turned on if we have to stop and use the facilities during our travels, but we generally just keep it off. You notice we have both gas and electric water heater in this case. We turn them both off. And in order to keep this faucet from opening up while we travel, we strap down the valve like that. That way we don't have to worry about any water leaking when we turn the water on or when we run the water pump during our travels.
So there was water on the slide topper, and right now Mike's going to tip the camper so that any water that's up there drains off, and when we close the slide it doesn't go inside the camper. Here it goes, rolling off like a waterfall. It's draining off, Mike.
Okay, we're all set. Moving the slide in.
So if either of us finds anything in conflict, we stop, check it out. Looks okay out here. We use a similar process for the other slides in that one of us is outside, one of us is inside, communicating by walkie-talkie to make sure nothing's in conflict. So here we go. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Go ahead and slide.
Okay.
We use walkie-talkies to communicate, and he gives me the all clear once he has set the emergency brake in order for me to step behind the truck and check if it's in line with the hitch.
Here we are doing a hitch test to make sure the gooseneck ball is latched for travel. Because we have troubles with the remote in the truck, surreptitiously just opening the tailgate, I take a little precaution here to make sure that doesn't happen on travel days by putting a strap up to the truck itself and pulling it over the top here and connecting it to the trailer hitch here. And that way, even if I do press the button by accident, it can't open.
I'm about to do the light check on the RV. We always check everything before we pull off. We follow our checklist, and that's on it.
Brake.
Brake lights are working.
Left.
Left blinker's working. Right blinker's working. Reverse lights are working. Put the running lights on. Checking the running lights.
So before we pull away, we always do a full walk around the camper and the truck, see if anything is missing, anything out of place. So we come around, double check, make sure the slides are in, check each of the jacks and stabilizers to make sure they're all the way up, check to see that the cabinets are latched and closed. Checking the slides, checking the roof. This is something we will do when we stop at a rest stop or a fuel station as well. Just double check and make sure everything is good. So again, jacks and stabilizers on this side. And all looks good and ready to go. So once we are already hooked up, we double check and make sure a couple things here. We look at our TPMS to make sure it's reading all 4 tires on the camper. And make sure that the rear view camera is operating. To sum all this up, make sure you make a checklist. Use your checklist and make sure you update it for any changes that might come along.
Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the little bell in order to be notified of our upcoming videos.
Thank you.